This is Theodore at Lies of the Devil. Go to liesofthedevil.com. Sign up for the newsletter. We're at the front line in a spiritual warfare. What this ministry is about is exposing the lies of the devil and ripping souls away from Satan and delivering them to Jesus Christ. Only Jesus Christ can save somebody. All we're doing is trying to plant as many seeds as possible. So I usually make one video at a time, one topic at a time, but the day is running short. There's so much for the ministry to do that I can't do that anymore. I'm going to have to just blow through the news real quick. And I'm going to try to do this daily, maybe even do a podcast as the ministry grows. But I can't do one topic at a time. So I'm going to do multiple topics. I want to open this up with the Bible. And I want to do Matthew 23:13. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men, for ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, you devour widows' houses, etc., etc. Jesus was warning us about hypocrites. He was warning us about the religious leaders of the time. And you can actually pull back the layer and you can talk about even people in leadership positions all around, in government, in society, in business, in the church. And he's basically saying, you talk out of both sides of your mouth. Okay, keep that in mind as we go through the news here real quick. Okay, we're not directing we're talking about the spiritual warfare, the things that are running in the background, Satan using people like a chess piece to try to win the chess game that he's not going to win. Okay, ultimately God is just going to wipe him. God wins. But keep that in mind as we go about. The first thing I want to talk about is King Arthur, the new movie King Arthur that came out in Hollywood, and just how destructive this type of propaganda is. Men think that they can become like Sylvester Stallone's in Rambo, or the, Terminator, you know what I mean? Or these type of heroes that they create on the screen, these fables. And they think that that's really manhood. That's not manhood. This trailer I'm going to show you is not manhood. It's a fake pagan fable to try to get people to become some illustrative character that is totally, it's trying to get people away from God is essentially what I'm trying to say here.
I saw enough.
Why is the water dropped? Why does the sword reveal itself now?
See, it's all about grandiose, having a grandiose entrance, being loved by everybody. That's what people are searching for. That's what men are told to go search for. They're athletes. Go be the best basketball star you can be the best football player you can be, without actually going in and nurturing and building your talents that God is giving you, your natural talents. Parents are part of this. They're trying to force, a square through a small, they're trying to force, a peg through a square hole, whatever they say. Okay, that's what this is all about. Okay, they're trying to teach kids that you need to have this, you need to be this big character in life, otherwise life is not worth it.
As your power increases, so do the forces that will oppose you. The born king will come. It is inevitable.
He felt it. The power.
I've never had any power or any desire to achieve it.
See, you guys get it. It's just total brainwashing. Here's the thing. Here's the kicker. This is what they'll take the truth and blend it with lies. Most good people, most Christian men that are strong Christian men they don't want power. Most good people, they don't want power. They don't want to have power over anybody. They just want to live a quiet life and not be bothered and just love on their wife and have kids and stuff like that. They don't want power. Okay? But sometimes God forces them into a position that says, listen, you're the guy that I'm going to be using for whatever the case being. Okay? And God uses evil people for that. And so they'll take that whole facade, the actual reality of the situation where someone's like not wanting power, and he actually has to get pushed into power. But instead of glorifying God, they glorify like these pagan witches and all this weird stuff, you know. So anyway, King Arthur, watch out for that. The news, okay. There's an article that was written today. It was a reader's view on religion as part of our country, and they want to say that Christianity, that this country wasn't founded by Christians and this, that, and which is true. There was always the Puritan Christians that were fighting against the deists and some of the founders, I should say, and they were always battling to find out, you know, who's going to have control over the country, because a lot of the founders of this country, America, they were carpetbaggers. The Puritan Christians came here and they actually had a really good relationship with the Indians, and they set up their own little colonies and their own little camps and had a good relationship with the Indians, and they actually converted a lot of the Indians to Christianity. Well, it wasn't until the carpetbaggers wanted a war, they wanted to show off, you know, they wanted to have their own settlements, the New World Order, or the Illuminati, essentially. They wanted to have their own settlements, freedom of religion, and they wanted to fight Great Britain. They wanted to fight the king and have their own country. And so they actually came here as opportunists and took the country by force, essentially, okay? And through politics. And they were brilliant politicians. They were good people. They're not good people, good liars, good politicians. So, but here's the thing. They took advantage of the Christians, and they knew that the Christian religion was very peaceful, and it was very organized, and people had their roles. It was just a very good culture. And so they used the Christian religion to catapult themselves into positions of power. Thomas Jefferson, you know, George Washington, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what this reader. That's just a fast forward into history, or a fast rewind into history. Now we're going back into the present. This is what this person is trying to write about. Well, what they're writing about. We cannot discriminate or bring one's religious beliefs into how our government is run. If we do, our democracy will eventually fall. First of all, it is necessary to discriminate if we are going to have order. There has to be a decision as to what is acceptable and not and unacceptable. Unless we want murderers, etc., without laws based on discrimination, man runs amok. That's absolutely true. See, they want this new world. Aldous Huxley, I just got done listening to his tapes. Go look up Aldous Huxley, The Truth Will Make You Mad. And what they want, okay, these technocratic socialists, okay, actually they're corporate monopoly men, but they use socialism to suppress people. They want people to love their servitude. They want people to go and do whatever they have, whatever desire they have in their heart, run amok, lawlessness. And they're going to do it through robots and stuff. You know, they're going to basically create lawlessness by making robots, and you can do whatever you want to the robots, so that you're not actually committing murder against man. I'll get into that. That's future documentaries. But essentially, this woman is saying that you have to have righteous judgment. You have to have righteous judgment. I hate when people say, "Oh, don't judge me. Don't judge me because I'm committing adultery. Don't judge me because, you know, don't judge me for those don't judge me for my sins." God says to judge righteous judgment. You shall know them by their fruit. It's not you shall know them by their fruit, how many people they get saved, because I could rack up numbers all day long and say, I got 500 people saved last month. And that's my fruit that you shall know me by? No. People lie, you know? You shall know them by their fruit, who their character is. Okay? And that's what this woman's talking about, this writer. I submit that there would be no democracy if it were for no religious beliefs of our forefathers. This nation was settled largely due to religion by religionists, men who recognize the worth of Christianity. It is Christianity that civilized the world. It is Christianity that sets people free to do what is right. Lest we forget, mankind was created in God's image. We are born plugged into religion. We are hurting ourselves when we try to resist or reject God. It is impossible to escape him. Amen. LifeNews.com. This professor was caught instructing students to deface and erase pro-life group Sidewalk messages. Okay, this is lawlessness. Okay, they want abortions, they want death, they want to do whatever they want to do whatever's in their heart, and if that means having sex and knocking up people, knocking up women, you know, don't worry about it, baby. It's okay, sweetheart. Just go take an abortion pill. Go kill that little baby. Or, you know, a month later, oh, you're pregnant. Oh man, that's gonna screw up my plans. Go kill the baby. Okay, so this professor has some deep-rooted, deep sin in his life, I'm sure, and that's why he's lashing out. No university professor has the authority to roam the campus, silencing any student's speech that happens to find objectionable and recruiting. Basically, he's recruiting students to censor others. Like all government officials, professors have an obligation to respect students' free speech rights, and they should encourage all students to participate in the marketplace of ideas rather than silencing those whom they happen to differ. The professor's actions were represented a flagrant violation of the First Amendment. Get ready. That's what these people want. All these liberals that love tolerance. No, they're not tolerant. They are viciously against anybody who is opposed to their radical ideas of a sinless, lawless life. Today's college students will be tomorrow's legislators, judges, educators, and voters. That's why it's so important that university professors model the First Amendment. Fresno State Students for Life received full permission to chalk pro-life messages near the library. Rather than countering with his own message, Dr. Thatcher took the illegal approach of censoring speech and inciting students to help in this. I don't even want to watch his video. I'm sure he just, he looks like one of those guys who just does bodybuilding, wants to make himself look really good so he can go out and, walk the streets or whatever and, look at me, look at him, a bodybuilder. He has no conscience, I'm sure. Tim Allen's show canceled for being too conservative. He had a show, what was the show called, baby? Last Man Standing. And it was an excellent show. It was very good. It was him and his wife, and they had a bunch of these liberal kids. They had sons and daughters, but they were raised in school, so they're very hardcore liberals, love abortion, this, that, and the other. And so it was... Oh, the mom's liberal too. Okay. And so I only saw a couple episodes and I thought it was great. And the dad is basically the only sane person. He's the only one that's like, listen, you guys, what's going on? You liberals, you know what I mean? And he talked about God. He's talking about God's foundation and how basically conservative versus liberalism. And it was a very popular show. Tim Allen's funny. And so now they shut it off. They shut off his show. And anybody in Hollywood, these liberals, anybody that speaks out against their sinless, lawless nature gets shut off. Their acting jobs dwindle away. We got done talking to a woman in Hollywood. Can't tell you her name, but she sold a couple playwrights, a couple screenplays to people in Hollywood, and she said she thought she was going there to make a difference. She's not making a difference, man. They cut her off. They will not let her do anything in Hollywood after they found out she's a Christian. Conservatives in Hollywood are rare. Even Fear had a successful mainstream career outside of Christian-based movies and small cable shows. Last Man Standing was a staple of ABC's Friday night lineup. It brought in 8 million viewers per episode. Allen is a Republican in real life. He campaigned for Ohio Governor John Kasich in 2016. He attended Trump's inauguration. Jim Caviezel, who did Passion of the Christ, said he wasn't able to find any work after filming The Passion of the Christ. James Woods, who's also conservative, said that he will never work in Hollywood again because of his conservative beliefs. Kelsey Grammer also claimed that his show was canceled because he was an outspoken Republican. People like George Soros and Hillary Clinton and these type of liberals, they are the ones behind all of the funding of these nonprofits that are very, like Hollywood nonprofits that, independent film companies that go out and make these filthy movies. It's people like George Soros and government-funded liberal institutions that funnel money through these different organizations to just try to make society totally destroy morality and brainwash people. And the public school system, the whole 9 yards, to get people to become these reprobates that just want lawlessness. They don't want laws. They don't care about God. And so George Soros, he's actually going to get sued. George Soros was funding the Black Lives Matter movement that was going out and killing cops. He was a Nazi collaborator when he was a young kid. He was actually turning in his fellow Jews, taking their property and turning them in so that they get killed at concentration camps. Same thing with Christians. Okay, Christians were just as much outed in Hitler's regime as Jews. If you weren't a Christian, you didn't go with Hitler and killing off the Jews and stuff like that, you were rounded up and you were taken off and you were killed, like a Dietrich Bonhoeffer. So this is who this George Soros guy is. He's got tons of these philanthropic organizations where he funnels money through them, multi-billionaire, funnels money through them so that he can prop up and start dissent and rebelliousness in different countries to try to take them over. Racketeer billionaire George Soros faces $10 billion lawsuit, and BSG Resources Guinea Limited versus Soros. They stated that the mining companies associated with Israeli billionaire Benny Steinmetz accused investor George Soros in New York federal court Friday of being a racketeer billionaire who extorted and smeared the Steinmetz entities to steal rights to an iron ore deposit in Guinea, costing them $10 billion. This is economic warfare. This is just the tip of the iceberg. This isn't even talking about Black Lives Matter. This is just economic warfare, smearing people, PR campaigns. Interesting. This is what the Washington Standard reported. Interestingly, as opposed to innumerable civilians directly affected by Soros's notoriously shady string pulling, the lawsuit originates with the billionaire's peers who claim his moneyed influence bilked them of at least many billions as claimed. Steinmetz was arrested in December 2016 over allegations he and BSGR forked over millions in bribes to government officials for mining rights. But those charges had been based on fabricated reports by Soros-funded companies. This goes back into lawlessness in the government. I mean, exclusive FBI agent said Comey stood in the way of Clinton email investigation. You know, this FBI director, James Comey, you had the Benghazi scandal, where they literally let Muslims come in and just destroy a U.S. consulate and embassy. You have that. You have them drop shipping $400, $500 million in different currencies. At $400, $500 million, Obama and Clinton just drop shipped all this cash in the Middle East to bribe the Middle Eastern terrorists, ISIS. Just drop shipped it. Those weren't investigated. The email servers where she set up a private email server in her bathroom in her house. So she's like, they set up a private server in her bathroom, and I believe it was her bathroom. It was in her house, but I'm pretty sure it was in her bathroom too. And they wouldn't investigate that. She sent tons of classified emails. You guys all know this. She sent tons of classified emails from her bathroom server to different people, foreign entities. She used the State Department basically as a way to make money for her foundation. And they didn't want to investigate that. So they didn't investigate that. And so this FBI guy, James Comey, he just didn't care about any of that. He didn't investigate it. And he actually came out, and he came out as a prosecutor and said, oh, she did nothing wrong. She shouldn't be prosecuted. Dude, you're the FBI. All you just gather intel and then give it to the DOJ. You know what I mean? And that's why Trump is upset. Because he was helping the Clintons break the law. Helping Obama and then break the law. So anyway, my point is that you've got these liberal, progressive, reprobate type people that are in government that are still nestled deeply into the intelligence agencies and all different foundations of government, and they don't care about the regime. They don't care about Trump and his administration. They don't care about following the laws. They will do whatever they can to put as many speed bumps along the way, leak out as much information as possible to try to hurt the presidency. Russia, number one goal is to make the U.S. presidency look illegitimate and people lose confidence in their government. And they get mad at Trump and his administration saying, oh, you guys are working with the Russians. No, people that are anti-American, you're working for the Russians more than anything. Okay, and this isn't national pride. God is my king, okay? But we do have to pray for our leaders in government positions. Look how many people in the Bible served the kings, even though the kings were wrong. Okay? That's what Christians are supposed to do. Just serve whoever's there, you have to serve the best you can. Don't bow the knee to Baal. Don't worship Satan. If it gets to that point, something's very wrong, but you are supposed to expose evil and serve. Christians are supposed to serve. FBI agents say Comey stood in the way of Clinton email investigation. FBI agents say the Bureau is alarmed over Director James Comey deciding not to suggest that the Justice Department prosecute Hillary Clinton over her mishandling of classified information. So Donald Trump, our president, fired Comey in a very funny way, actually. I'm not sure if I agree with it, but he basically fired him while he was giving a speech to the FBI. And he was basically saying, he was basically saying, oh, you guys are stuck with me for the next 6.5 years. And as he's saying that, televisions are saying James Comey got fired. I mean, that's pretty rough. But, you know, for a guy that's so prideful and arrogant, he got his knees cut down real quick. He got his knees cut off real fast. And then everybody's sitting there going, oh, it's so terrible. It's so terrible. Talk to the families in Benghazi when Hillary Clinton was lying to the Senate during hearings. Talk to them about it being unfair, about how their family literally were murdered for political sake, for grandstanding. Talk to them. Talk to the ISIS terrorists who got drop shipped $500 million in cash. Talk to the people in the Middle East who are Christians who are getting beheaded. James Comey getting fired in a public way that humiliates him, that's unfair, that's wrong. You guys talk about that, but you won't talk about innocents being killed? The behind-the-scenes stories have undermined the White House's public reasoning for firing Comey, causing further political trouble for the administration and exacerbating growing divisions between Trump and the law enforcement agencies. See, it's all about causing chaos. Here we go. This is the shocking video. This is how bad liberalism in schools have gotten. These people that are in public schools, they don't care. They don't care if people get bullied. They don't care about kids' safety. They're there to make a paycheck, and they're there to suck away as much taxpayer money on stupid programs that don't work. They don't care. They don't care. I'm not saying all schools are this way. I'm talking about there's schools that are like this, and I've seen them when I was younger. I've been to good schools, I've been to bad schools, and the bad schools are really bad. And this school this high school we're going to talk about is a bad high school. And you know what? They wouldn't do anything about their kids getting bullied, so the parents took it into their own hands and went after the kids and beat the crap out of them. Okay, I'm not saying that that's right. I'm just saying this is how far society will go. They want this. Satan wants rebel rousers. Satan wants people to lose their minds. Satan wants chaos. He wants violence. And because the authority figures won't do the right thing in some cases, it causes a kettle. It causes a pressure cooker. And people have to release that pressure cooker. And so incidents like this are going to start happening more frequently. Shocking videos show parents viciously attacking 5 female high school students in revenge for attack on their kids. Shocking video emerged showing vicious fights between students and parents. One teen's family members came to the school and allegedly attacked students. The incident took place on Tuesday at Knight High School in Palmdale, California. California, the most liberal, reprobate type state we've got here. You know, Michelle Brown, a parent of one of the victims, said another teen's family member showed up at the school and allegedly attacked her daughter. There was a mob of grown women, grown men waiting to attack viciously. These young girls told. Security officers were also seen in the video attempting to break up the brawl. And it was just total chaos. Because people, they don't want to, they're not repenting of their sins. They say that they're Christians, but they'll go and we were driving down the street. I gotta end this. We were driving down the street, and I didn't tell you this about this, but I was driving down the street because I was going to go find DVDs on Jesus Christ and stuff, okay? I was actually finding stuff for Alien Covenant. Anyway, so I was driving down the street, and there's this little girl that's like maybe 10 feet ahead of another little crowd, and the guy, one of the kids, grabs a rock, like a mud rock or something like that, and he throws it and he chucks it at her, and it barely misses her. What these parents did, I was this close to going, you need a spanking, dude. You need to get your butt kicked. I did a U-turn, and I rolled around, and the girl looked like she was about to cry. I saw her. I went like this. I rolled around. I put down my window. I looked right at that kid, right in his eyes, and I said, hey, stop. You don't throw anything else. And he's like, what? And I said, you heard me. You heard me. Don't throw anything else. And he goes, yes, sir. And I drove away, and you know what the little punk did? He grabbed another rock, and he acted like he was throwing it towards my car. And I just was sitting there. I was like, you know what? You know, so I understand where these parents are coming from. Believe me. I wouldn't do that in real life, but believe me, the thought came across my mind. IRS agents raid the offices of posh living televangelist Benny Hinn. This was maybe like 2 weeks ago or something. A week ago. Criminal investigations from the IRS and the U.S. Postal Services raided Grapevine, Texas offices of televangelist Benny Hinn on Wednesday afternoon. Benny Hinn, look up, baby, can you give me the DVD for the shack? Look up, guys, you have to get, we talk about Benny Hinn. We talk about Benny Hinn in the documentary, The Shack, okay? And he's one of the televangelists on there he's like throwing up the horn signs with his hands. He thinks he's a little god. He thinks he's God, okay? Benny Hinn is such a fraud. You know what I mean? He's such a bad person. And I'm going to end this on a laughing note of him like, well, you'll see it. But call 520-510-3982. Get it from us for $12, okay? People need to see what's really going on in the world, okay? The Shack is terrible doctrine. And Benny Hinn's a part of this whole thing. You know, he's a part of the whole neo-paganism. And anyway, he's living a great lifestyle, lavish lifestyle. It's all tax-free. And it's basically a huge business for him, this corporation that he's set up. And people, it's like a cult. It's a huge cult. We are primarily investigating Title 26, which is tax evasion and general fraud against the government. That's what I guess a government agent said. We are conducting a search warrant on the premises. Basically, that's all I can say we're doing today. Religious organizations are... Oh, can you see it? No. Religious organizations are not required to be as transparent as other nonprofits. Hinn is innocent until proven guilty. Well, yeah, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. But you know what? I mean, you just by looking at what he does, I mean, it's just you have to scratch your head and go, huh? Who is this guy? Here we go. Just watch it. This is a new video he put out. Just watch this cult-like attitude, this cult of personality-like attitude. It's actually hilarious.
And as you pray, ladies, you'll empower these men to put their foot on his neck. Men and women are very strong. I charge you, people of Africa. I charge you, men and women in Ghana. I charge you, men and women in Nigeria. I charge you, men and women and servants of God in Africa and around. Hallelujah. Satan is losing his foothold. One. Lift your hands to heaven as you hold them together. 2, 3. Fire! Fire!
Oh my goodness. I mean, people, this is hilarious.
I charge you, people of Africa.
Come on, people. That is hilarious. And then, like, he's like, fire in your belief. What does he say? No, he says something like, fire in your belief. Fire in your being? Fire. Yeah, he's like having people come up the stage. He's like, fire in your being, fire in your being, fire in your being. And people are just like, you know, and I mean, it is cult-like. That is crazy. That right there is crazy. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me. John 8:32, ye shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. God, if somebody who's not a Christian is listening to this, you need to ask God to show you the truth. You need to ask God, please, I need to know the truth, Lord. I want to get to know you. Just ask God that you want to know the truth, and he will show you the truth.